Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to upgrade your stairs. Blika sent me this cable railing kit. Comes with everything that you guys see here, and I'm going to run through this step by step so that you can learn how to install yours. Alright, so the first step of setting all of this railing is really just post placement. That is the most important step of this whole project. I'm going to start at my corner post back here, and I'm going to stay 2 to 3 inches off of that center hole, outermost hole for these bolts from the edge of the concrete, because I don't want to risk blowout of anything coming off of this. So I'm going to set this one, then I will come over here and set this post, find my center, set this post, make sure I'm at a good right angle because this is a perfect right angle, and I'm going to have a miter on that railing, so I need to be exact here, and then set that post, and then finally come down to the bottom of the stair and set that post. I'm using concrete anchors from Tapcon. They're 3/8 wide. I'll show you why I'm going to use those rather than the zinc coated ones that came with it. Nothing wrong with the ones that came with it, but I just like Tapcons a little bit more for my application that I'm utilizing. And then we're going to start from there. So I'm going to show you how to lay out all these posts from step 1. So I am going to start by setting my posts. I've decided that I want to keep this 1.5 inches off of the face of the concrete. I'm going to go ahead and mark this. Nothing about this slab stoop is square, so we're going to create our own perfect square outside corner with this post by using lasers and strings like I talked about. You're going to mark these 4 holes, and then you're going to get your laser or string, in my case laser, and I'm going to go from that side and center it on this line here so I can go ahead and strike it from down there. And I'm going to run off the house because I know that the house is a straight surface, and that'll give me my square point. We should be all set. So using those 4 holes, I set up a string line and pin to be able to mark these holes over here. So I need to make sure I'm in plane. This is making sure it's off of this face here, 2 inches, all the way across. I'm going to mark those 4 holes. I'm going to set these 2 posts first. Then I'm going to strike center, locate this post, and then that post over there too. So couldn't use a laser. It's way too bright out, and my laser's not that great. So this is going to be how I do it. Alright, so setting these posts, these are the supplied wedge anchors. These are great. I just don't want to put anything into exterior concrete that isn't galvanized, so these aren't going to work. I thought about just using galvanized wedge anchors, but I figured this is going to be easier. These are 3/8 Tapcons. These are 3-inch long. That should be more than enough to support all these because there are 4 of them that go into each post. So 4 of those in each one, and then I bought a Bosch 3/8 standard chuck concrete bit. I do not have one of the larger SDS hammer drills, so that's what we're going to use here. And just my handy dandy, been through, worn back hammer drill. I'm going to go through, I'm going to do a quick fast set on these, leaving them loose. And then I'm going to get composite shims under all of this to make sure everything is perfectly level and plumb so that we make sure everything's lined up nicely. So that's what's next. Alright, so we have our first post set that is very solid. I slipped my cover over it, my 4 Tapcons are down. I wanted to get this one set, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this one. Here, I'm going to run my string line across. I already ran that over to here. I have my 4 holes marked. I'm going to go ahead and sink those now, and we're going to get that second post done. I am double checking my first pilots. I do that because it's not uncommon for these hammer drill bits travel a little bit when you first start trying to sink them. So I noticed right away when I did my test that now I have that recentered. It's a lot easier to do that before you go 3 inches down. So I'm going to do my first 2 outside, get those plumb, then do these 2 insides, and we'll be all set. Alright, so now that we have our 4 Tapcons into this post, I'm using composite shims that I got from Lowe's. They're just a hard plastic composite material that, since this slab is not in good shape to be able to have these sit nice and flat on them, I can use these to help me get me nice and plumb on both planes. So really, I'm pretty much there with just some final adjustments on those. So I'm going to hit this. A little bit more. it. That's it right there. So now that one's touching the concrete. I'm floating on the inside. I'm just gonna put some thicker ends of the shims so that I have something to sit on. Right there. Yep, perfect. So now that I'm pretty well supported on all sides, I'm gonna go ahead and crank down on these bolts. Perfect. Boom, we are right on. Easy peasy. All right, so now these shims just snap in place. That one's a little off, so I'm just gonna cut that one. Okay, now that I have that perfect for plumb, I'm gonna come grab my little foot. So this guy right here just slides over top of it and covers all those bolts. I'll probably take some sealant or something that expands just so that's not loose and fit it over there, but that is a seamless looking pole. So I have my outer post set in plumb. Now it's time to set my final place for this line post. The inside, so this inside dimension to this inside is 95 inches. So that means my center point for this post is 47.5 inches. So I still have my line set. So really I want to mark 47.5 inches, which is right about there, give or take, and I'll get it exactly. 47.5 puts me there. So I'm gonna get this set based on 47.5 inches off the center point of this 2-inch by 2-inch post, and then I'm gonna make sure my line bolts are in alignment with the other two so that all this is in plane, so that once I have this completed, this will all be perfectly in plane with one another. You can already kind of see that once that's plumbed up, aka going that way, it'll be much better. All right, so I have all my line posts on this section completed. There's two more things. This is your base plate, goes around it. You want to put that on before you put this, because this is what makes your line connection for your rail. So there's an Allen wrench key, little screw at the top. That just goes in there, and I'm going to go ahead and pop that on, just like that. There we go. Perfect. So we have our longest run complete. All right, so all of our posts are now set. I just followed the same process for all 5 of them. Didn't feel like I needed to show every single one go in, as it's pretty repetitive. But now it's time to start setting our rails. Before we started our rails, I double checked every post to make sure that I'm not only on plane, but I'm also plumb for each individual one. Both are important. So with that, with this being a DIY kit, the rails are not all to the length that you need. So on this one, I will need to make a joint cut here. And we use these fittings, which is like a hard plastic that fits inside of it to keep everything centered butt to butt. So after you do that, I have these clamps used. There's a tab down here. Get your rail and set it up there temporarily, and then just go ahead and mark where you want to make your cut. And then I like to wrap around this metal with a piece of painter's tape and make sure you use a blade that's a carbide tooth, non-ferrous metal blade. DeWalt makes them, Diablo. I bought a DeWalt one, so very easy, about 50 bucks. So just make sure you have a fresh blade to be able to use on this so it doesn't just eat up this black aluminum paint, and you should be good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this now. All right, so our cut is made. Now we are ready to go ahead and set this back corner. I'm gonna use my clamps again like I just did, and then I'm going to mark my holes with a Sharpie and then pre-drill those, and we're gonna go ahead and get everything set. All right, so we went ahead and have this rail up there. I'm only gonna set these 4 screws at the moment. So all you have to do is just use your clamps. This one's right where I need it to be. So I'm just gonna dab on the inside of that hole, and then these over here. And I'll go ahead and use my pilot hole, and we'll get those set. So now that we have our holes marked, we're gonna go ahead and drill those out. Just go nice and slow and use the bit that they provided you with. All right, there we go. All right, so we have this rail section set. I went ahead and popped this one in temporarily. The next cut is the real cut. So what we have to do is make sure that the fall of the stairs is matched with the railing. So what I did was I created a test piece using 2 pieces of straight lumber to discover what this angle is from point A to point B. That ended up being 31 degrees. So what I'm going to do is split that in half. So my cut on my miter saw needs to be 15.5 degrees. And I'm gonna cut it on the long side. And this goes inside of the railing. And when it's in there, it will keep everything nice and tight, and it'll be running down there. And then when you have your 2 new screws in there for the piece in there, it'll make it really nice and tight for you. So let's do this. So I made a 15.5 angle cut on this for my railing. I'll deburr that and then use a Sharpie or find some other paint to kind of make that sure that that's nice and clean. But that should get me on my right angle. All right, so our 31 degree angle worked nicely. We went ahead and ran that. I ran it long because I just wanted to get everything set, ready to go before giving my final yay or nay on this blunt cut, because a plastic cap goes on that. So I'll make that final call. We'll get everything put back together, and then we will go ahead and anchor everything, and we'll be ready to go ahead and start setting our cables. All right, so our top rail is now complete on the long run, where we have the joint here and our angle cut down the stairs as a 31 degree miter. A little stressful, but we got it done. This is my first railing I've actually ever done. So going down here, they also give you these nice plastic caps to give you a factory end on those. The next thing after I land that final back corner is our cable railing itself. So after that, we'll be complete. All right, everybody, so we're running our cables. I chose the 1/8 inch black cabling. I just like how it disappears. You just really go through all of your holes, give yourself enough of a feed. And what's cool about it is they give you these little tools here. And there's 3 parts, 3 for the angle post, but this is what your cable feeds into, and then you get a crimp tool and crimp this down 2 or 3 times, pop this in, and that's what creates your tension. This Allen key is actually what creates your tension. See how that tightens down? So you want to leave it when you first put it in barely threaded so that you have plenty of ability to create a lot of tension. You do that side first, and then you come back to this side, and we will pop this through, and you can see how on the first one, they give you an angled cable bracket like this so that you can continue to tighten it, and boy, does it look pretty. So really happy with this. I'm gonna keep running this, and we'll be wrapped up for the night. All right, so I wrapped up the cables, and I wanted to share a couple things that I learned along the way because I've never done this before this project. Few things. These are the little ends that these cables fit into, and they provided me with this crimping tool, which is great. So I threw 2 crimps on each one, And with that, you want to make sure your cable is the correct length. I had 2 instances where I didn't think that that was the case, and it wasn't. When you run it and you're going down in your post, run it through, keep it loose, and then pull it tight to the end of it. And then what I ended up thinking was the best way, and it worked consistently after the fact, is measure that cable 1 inch into the post itself. And that's where you cut your cable, and that's where you crimp down on. So that gave me a consistent length that worked every time. That's one thing. Second thing, all these little rubber washers are great because you don't get that metal on metal sound if you touch any of these cables. Put those in after the cable is fed through and it is not tensioned. So then after that, after it's tensioned, because otherwise, especially on these corners, you can't fit it into that cable whatsoever. So that's the last thing as well too. And after that, try to maintain as many factory edges as possible. So I had a cut here. One of those was obviously gonna have to be a cut, and then the other one's a factory edge. This is a double cut, which is fine. But at the end, on the end there, I was able to maintain a factory edge, and they provide you with these plastic stops that work really nicely and give you a nice clean look. So with all that in mind, a couple little things that I had to do that I think will probably help you when you guys do this too. But overall, we are ecstatic.